Hello there, internet dwellers. Welcome to a very, very special video. As many of you know, Scott Cawthon invited us out to New Orleans to film the set, basically, or not even to film the set, just to visit the set of Five Nights at Freddy's. And when I think back to that email, it still blows my mind. It feels like I just don't deserve that kind of experience. And I know that's silly of me to say, but yeah, I'll always kind of think like that, I guess, as I feel like there's just more deserving people out there in the community that would love to see this. And don't get me wrong, I had an absolute blast. And when I was invited, I was super excited to see the set, but nothing could prepare me for what I was going to see. Okay, stay tuned. So we flew out there, I believe it was on the 18th of March, and I think that was on a weekend, so we didn't actually get to do much. Well, I guess we just kind of chilled for a little bit because they film on Monday to Friday. I believe the day before, I think it was a Sunday, Scott invited us over for dinner to just, talk, see how everyone was doing, and then he explained to us what we can do, basically what we can't do. We were expecting to be there for like 2 days, I think, and even Scott himself was worried that we'd be there for a couple of hours, we'd see everything, and then be bored for the rest of the week. And I tell you what, Scott, you could not be any more wrong. Let me just say that now. So we ended up staying for the whole week, basically. Like, we visited every single day that the set was open. Apparently, according to the crew, we kind of gave them life. We breathed life into them, seeing our reactions to the set, and so the little details they threw in there gave them like this second wind almost. They've been working tremendously hard, I tell you that, guys. Scott could not have picked a more perfect cast and crew, let me tell you that. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the very start. So the Monday we arrived, first day on set, we actually got a little bit lost. We ended up walking around all these blocks. We eventually got there. We obviously had to sign NDAs, so I'm not going to be able to talk about certain things, okay? I'm not going to be able to talk about scenes that I saw or details of certain things. I'm trying to keep it loose as I possibly can in general, while still giving you information. Obviously, at a later date, we will be allowed to release more footage, as a trailer drops or closer to the time of the film actually coming out. We'll be able to show you a lot more behind the scenes, so stay tuned for that for sure. So the first day we were on set, we were given a tour. So during their lunch break, which is about an hour and a half, we had free reign basically of the set. Obviously, there was someone accompanying us to make sure we weren't, pooping on the floor or touching Freddy, breaking the Five Nights at Freddy's rules. But they were super nice, and they kind of just let us do our things to a certain extent. So the set designer actually introduced us around the set to begin with, and weirdly enough, as we went into the set, the first thing we saw was basically the actor who plays Mike, Josh Hutcherson, and he was super nice to us. He said, I hope you enjoy, guys. We're looking forward to seeing how you feel about this. All of the cast and crew are absolutely fantastic, okay? I don't want to go into too much detail about all that. Like, I feel like I might be saying things that I shouldn't be saying, but I think I'm keeping it loose, so it's all good. But we were introduced around the establishment, basically. So the set is obviously indoors, right? But when you look at it on the monitors from behind the scenes, it just feels like you've been teleported and transported to an actual place, a real life place somewhere else. And it feels so weird knowing that the shots we're looking at is happening like a couple of meters away from us. But yeah, back onto the tour. Now, obviously, I can't go into details, but you guys are going to know, obviously, if you're a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, you're going to know certain things are going to come up in the film. Well, there are guarantees, obviously. So, like the animatronics, Freddy and the gang, they're guaranteed. Obviously, the set design might not match up to how you think, but I've got to say, I think they've done a tremendous job, and the set dressing, the design was absolutely fantastic. From the office to the actual, the show area, the stage, the pizzeria in general, it's absolutely phenomenal. There are a lot of things in this film that hardcore fans are going to be like, oh my god, they've actually included this, but it lends itself to people who may not have heard of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise at the same time. I think Scott was saying the worst mistake you can make, basically, is just pandering to your audience rather than to the genre in general. So even if you're not a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, the whole aesthetic and the whole kind of way this thing is laid out is going to be very pleasing for non-Five Nights at Freddy's fans, that's for sure. A lot of people are going to be asking about the animatronics. Yes, we know the animatronics are going to be on stage. Obviously, I don't want to say too much out of respect for Scott. Maybe, you know, it needs to be a surprise. But we know the FNAF gang, the Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy are all going to be there. So all I will say about the animatronics themselves is you are going to love them. It's basically one for one from the game. They basically took the models from the game and made them into real life. I don't want to say too much. I can feel myself wanting to say a lot of things that maybe I shouldn't be saying. But it's only because I'm super excited. So if I cut off and it doesn't really make sense with what I'm saying, it's because I'm trying to keep it general, basically. But the animatronics are fantastic. I mean, they did a super, super amazing job. So the people who made the animatronics, the Jim Henson Company, did an absolutely fantastic job. And like I said, Scott chose the right people for the job. That's what I'm going to say. Every single person on set is phenomenal. They do their job so well. And there was not once while we were there, was there any kind of tension in the air? Was there any kind of hostility towards us? Everyone was super accommodating, super welcoming, from the assistants of the actors and the producers and stuff, right up to the actual actors and directors themselves. They were amazing, and they made us feel super welcome. And yeah, it was super nice. It was super weird because we were there. I'm not going to talk about the scene that was being filmed, but when we were looking at the monitor at what was being shown, it just felt like I genuinely was in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Like, monitor aside, when you walk through into like the stage area and you just look at them just there, it just feels like you've been teleported somewhere, and it feels like you're genuinely in a pizzeria, and like a Chuck E. Cheese almost, but just, I guess, a bit more cuddly and friendlier. They're so cute. That's all I'm going to say. They are super cute, the animatronics. But obviously, if you're a fan, you know that they're not as cute as they seem. Well, maybe they are, but it's just unfortunate, what happened in the game. So I also like to thank Bia, her name was, she was basically our contact within the set, who we would talk to when we were going to visit. But like I said, after a couple of days, they basically said, don't worry about telling us, just show up. You're more than welcome in the set. You know what to do, you know where to go, you know what you can and can't do. You're more than welcome in. She sorted us out with awesome Blumhouse hoodies as well. There's no words to describe how accommodating these people were. And the pizzeria, I'm going to be talking in general here. Like I've said before about the aesthetics of the animatronics and stuff. The pizzeria is amazing. Seriously amazing. There were certain machines there that we thought were just there for the sake of being there, but they were fully functioning. And genuinely, when we got most of our shots and stuff towards the end of the week, I would just be playing on these machines, basically, forgetting completely that I'm on a movie set. It felt like I was just in an arcade, basically. It was super fun. Also, we got access to the kitchen. Now, if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you'll know that the kitchen camera is actually offline, and you don't actually get to see what's in there. But we had exclusive access to the kitchen that we can show you later on, at a later date, maybe towards when the trailer drops, something like that. I believe we're allowed to show props towards then, and then maybe towards the before the film actually comes out, we can show a little bit more behind the scenes. There's certain things we just won't be able to show at all without going into spoiler content, and I think you guys need to experience this as blindly as you can. But all I will say is that it blew my mind. The director, by the way, Emma Tammy, her name is, she was super lovely. She would come around, make sure we was all good, make sure we was enjoying ourselves. Sometimes we'd forget that she was the director, because she spoke to us like she was an assistant, if you know what I mean. She just came over, she was so excited to see our thoughts on stuff, how we reacted to certain stuff, and that goes to everybody. So the set designer, the producers, everyone, they would gauge our reactions to certain things, and they would think to themselves, okay, we're doing something good here. Because obviously, not all these people are going to know about Five Nights at Freddy's and the hype that's behind it, and to them, it's kind of like they're just working on another horror movie. Obviously, they're passionate about their work, don't get me wrong, but once they saw our reaction to, what they've created, they're like, okay, we're on to a winner here. And I really sincerely, I know it's going to do super well in the cinemas. You guys definitely need to go check it out. We haven't been told a release date yet, but I'm sure we will get some news on that very soon. I'm just trying to think about if there's anything else I could potentially say. I can't really talk about the actual set itself because the set basically changes each day with the shots that they're doing, the scenes that they're doing. So some things will be there on one day and then they won't be there the next day. But I can't really talk about that. But I can just say that they've done a fantastic job. You'll see it all basically. Like what's in the game will be there. Like they've done their best to replicate it as best as they can. Some things obviously they've had to take out to make it make more sense into a film concept. You'll see what I mean as things drop later on. For now, I feel like I'm treading on eggshells. I don't want to talk too much. Obviously, I get this video sent for approval. So whatever you're seeing and hearing now has been approved of, and what I'm allowed to talk about is in this video. But I can't wait to talk about more. I will do a video like this again when I'm allowed to in the near future. But I'll actually include like footage as well. And, you know, I'll go into a bit more detail about certain things. But all I will say, guys, is that you're in for a treat. It's going to be amazing. The cast and the crew, the whole production team, Scott as well, they've made sure that this is an experience that the fans will love. And like I said, not only the fans, they've catered to the horror fans as well. So the actual just genre in general, you're going to love this film, basically. The actors are amazing. The set design is amazing. Everything is amazing. And I don't know what else to say without potentially breaching an NDA. So I'm going to take it easy for now. But I'm sorry if you expected a little bit more. I'm hoping that some of your questions were answered. But yeah, look forward to a video where I'll actually be able to show you some stuff. Because let me tell you, it's really, really good. Before I end this video, guys, I do actually have something quite exclusive for you, okay? Right here is an exclusive jump scare from the Five Nights at Freddy's film. That was a joke. I want to make sure that that is actually registered as a joke right there, okay? That was Dorco and me messing about in our apartment. I'm going to end this here, guys. I hope you have had some kind of insight into the set and my experience there. There's a whole lot of things I do want to talk about, but like I said, I'm going to wait until a further date to actually do that. But yeah, be sure to like the video, subscribe to me to stay up to date with FNAF movie news. If the next video on this probably won't be until, you know, maybe a couple of months from now, who knows. But once I get permission to upload, you best know I'm going to try and show you as much as I can without breaching anything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and trust me, you are in for a treat. Goodbye, guys.